If Donald Trump was going to create another business school or a school on politics, he might offer a course, How to Have Your Cake and Eat It Too 101. Because that's what he's been doing over and over. I love the vets. I don't like it when they get caught. John McCain, he's not a war hero, or maybe he's a hero, but he got caught. I don't like people who get caught. How to Have Your Cake and Eat It Too. Listen to this. Listen to this interview with Planned Parenthood. Now, about Planned Parenthood with CBN. Now, one other quick thing. In the debate on Saturday night in South Carolina, which seems like an eternity ago, on Thursday night of last week, Donald Trump praised Planned Parenthood. Now, in times past, that would be enough to be like a self-inflicted gunshot to end your campaign inside of the Republican Party, because the base is committed to pro-life and is committed to getting rid of Planned Parenthood. But this is political genius, what he did. Watch this clip.
Okay, so I want to clear a few things up on Planned Parenthood. Ted Cruz is hitting you hard on this, and you've said a couple different things. You've talked about how you are not for funding of Planned Parenthood because of the abortions that they do, but at the same time, you've talked about how, in essence, they do some nice things. And so, as a President Trump, if a bill came to your desk that would defund Planned Parenthood, you would support that? You would sign that?
Yes, because as long as they do the abortion, I am not for funding Planned Parenthood.
Even
but
if
they do cervical cancer work. They do a lot of good things for women. But as long as they're involved with the abortion, as you know, they're involved. Now, they say it's 3% of their work. Some people say it's 10%. Some people say it's 8%. I hear all different percentages, but it doesn't matter. As long as they're involved with abortion, as far as I'm concerned, forget it. But we have to remember, and I wouldn't fund them, regardless. But they do other good work, okay? You look at cervical cancer. I've had women tell me they do some excellent work. So I think you have to also put that into account. But I would defund Planned Parenthood because of their view and the fact that they work on abortion.
Okay, because there are other groups beyond Planned Parenthood to do that fine work as well, so that could be farmed out and done.
That's right, but they do a big job. There are a lot of women that are taken care of by Planned Parenthood, so we have to remember that. But I am for defunding Planned Parenthood as long as they're involved with abortion.
Okay, so what has he done here? He has thrown a bone to the people who say, well, they do good work. What about breast cancer? What about cervical cancer? What about screenings? What about the good things that Planned Parenthood does? So I threw him a bone. It didn't cost him anything with the Republican base because he promised to defund them. Now, I'm going to use the rest of this segment to give you a quick primer on Planned Parenthood. There are people in D.C. called policy wonks. They're activists. And these are people like myself who focus like a laser beam on certain issues or certain people or certain organizations. I have been like that with Planned Parenthood. Done extensive research on them, fought their lawyers. The Planned Parenthood attorneys sued me and won, and they actually took my home, okay? I lost my home to Planned Parenthood attorneys and to NOW attorneys. So I've got a stake in what I tell you, a personal stake. Planned Parenthood is the #1 baby killer in America, probably in the Western Hemisphere, and perhaps in the world, with the exception of the Chinese government. Last year, they killed 320,000 innocent human beings by surgical abortion, murdered innocent babies. That does not include the babies that died because Planned Parenthood doctors put IUDs, intrauterine devices, inside a woman's abdomen or inside of her uterus, and the IUD works by spinning around in there. So if a woman does conceive, the baby, the new life comes down the fallopian tube and implants in the uterine wall, and then the IUD knocks the child off, and the woman has her regular menses, doesn't even know she was pregnant, but she was. And the baby's dead because of the IUD. So their number of 320,000 doesn't include those babies. It doesn't include the babies who died from chemically induced abortion, from the pill. The regular pill has a backup. The pill works, in case you don't know. The pill works by suppressing ovulation. So a woman doesn't ovulate. But a small percentage of the women do ovulate. They do become pregnant. And then, once the baby implants in the uterine wall, Similar, in a similar fashion as the IUD, there's a chemical backup inside of the pill that causes the uterine lining to shed even though the woman is pregnant. And so the new life is discarded, the woman has her menses, and another life is lost. Scientists disagree how many millions and millions of lives have been ended this way, but it's substantial, friends. It's substantial. So that's just a word to the wise. If you know anyone who doesn't understand how the pill or the IUD works, save them the heartache and the guilt of finding out, because they may be involved inadvertently in ending their own child's life. But back to Donald Trump and Planned Parenthood. I have got to take a break, but I want to finish up here. Saying that Planned Parenthood does good things didn't cost anything for Trump, but it's simply not true. You need to understand this. This organization was from the pit of hell from the moment it was started. It was called the Birth Control League. It was started by a woman named Margaret Sanger, who was by all intents, or was for all intents and purposes, a whore. And she was an unbelievably immoral woman. You do read biographies on her and you'll see what I'm talking about. Just a very, very immoral woman. And she wanted an organization made in her image where sex and marriage were as connected as the North and South Pole. She wanted to eliminate black people, Jews, Slavs. So she wanted to push birth control inside of those communities to suppress those populations because she called them human weeds. Planned Parenthood today, most of their facilities are smack dab in the middle of African American communities. It's racist. They know what they're doing. Plus, they are teaching 15, 16-year-old girls to throw their bodies around like unpaid prostitutes and teaching young boys to be predators. They are just dispensing birth control so kids can have safe sex. In many of the states they're doing it, it's statutory rape, and they just don't care. Okay? This is an immoral organization. And the number of women that they actually help with breast cancer or cervical cancer, it's minuscule. It's minuscule. Go to the Planned Parenthood near you and watch who comes and goes. Just watch. You'll see what I'm talking about. So, Donald Trump, how to have your cake and eat it too, 101. He promised repeatedly in different interviews, he has promised he will defund Planned Parenthood. That is a promise that the Republican base can live with. And he threw a bone to the women who are saying about the good things that Planned Parenthood did, even though he is sadly mistaken in that assertion. I've got to take a break. We'll look at what Trump says about the Supreme Court. Don't go away.